Retention policies may be used in the broader context of time-dependent actions. Time-dependent actions correspond to stages of a processing pipeline. Multiple actions may be applied to a file that require either a prior action to have completed or a set time interval to have passed. Examples include decide when a file should be disposed of, decide when access control should be changed, decide when data should be backed up, decide when data formats should be checked, decide when files should be archived. In each case, actions are performed when a time period expires or a status flag has been set. The retention period within the IROD's data grid was designed to control when a disposition policy should be applied. No requirements were made on what the disposition policy could include. However, only a single expiration date was implemented using the data expiry metadata attribute. The actions that could be applied to the file could include deletion of the file, archiving of the file, notification of the user. To manage retention and disposition, policies can be implemented that set the retention period, verify that all files have a retention period set, modify a retention period, check whether the retention period has expired. The data expiry persistent state attribute is stored as a date defined in the Unix format and is the number of seconds after January 1st, 1970 when the retention period expires. The data expiry attribute can be set separately for each file. The isysmeta I command can be used to specify a future time. The syntax is isysmeta mod file time. To specify a time 1 hour in the future for a file called foo, use isysmeta mod foo plus 1h. To specify an arbitrary future date, you can use a year, month, day specification. ISYS mod life zone home RW more foo 2015-12-01. The data expiry persistent state attribute can also be set via a policy using the MSI sysmeta modify microservice. An example is presented in Chapter 6.45 in the Policy Examples Workbook and is shown here. The policy enforcement point AC post proc for put is modified to set a retention period of 1 year for the archive collection. Note that the microservice MSI sysmeta modify can only be called at a policy enforcement point as it uses a session variable $OJ path to identify the file that is being processed. Take 7 minutes and complete exercise 86. Decide on retention policies for your collection. Should the policies be enforced at ingestion time? Should the policies be set as separate attribute flags? Are multiple time dependencies needed for different objects? Please load a paragraph describing your decision into the lifetime library in the subcollection class INLS 624 by the end of today's class.